So, Dolphins did it. They improved to 6-6. They beat the Buffalo Bills 17-21. Dolphins get the win. Very crucial division win, AFC win. They can move down the line in the playoffs, especially with Indianapolis losing today, which Dolphins really needed. But let's get on to the video.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team.
So before I go into anything, that Kiko call that he was hitting with his helmet, I mean, he grazed his helmet. He was wrapping the guy up, and they call hitting with the crown of the helmet or whatever. I saw on Thursday Night Football, Jalen Smith literally destroyed Alvin Kamara with his helmet, right? No call. You're going to give Kiko Alonso a call on that play? Come on. But enough of that. Let's go over some of the Bills' offensive stats. So we have Josh Allen, which Dolphins cannot contain whatsoever. But anyways, he went 18 for 33, 231 yards. It's a lot, right? He threw 2 touchdowns, both to Zay Jones, and 2 interceptions, both to Xavier Howard. So throw up that X. Make sure you vote Xavier Howard for the Pro Bowl. And he was sacked twice. Honestly, we could have sacked him like 6 times, 4 times, around there. Like, there were so many times the Dolphins defense was like closing in on Josh Allen, and they could not get him. So, leading rusher for the Bills, guess who it was? Josh Allen. 9 carries, 135 yards. So he was averaging like 15 yards per carry when he ran out of the pocket. Very frustrating for the Dolphins. Just watching that, and every time the Dolphins were about to get him and bring him down, just slipped by and just ran upfield. Really, really frustrating. But then following him was LaShawn McCoy, Shady, and he had 15 carries for 52 yards. And then after that, really falls off. Chris Ivory just really did bad today. So receiving wise, they had Zay Jones, had 4 receptions, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of them was like in the back of the end zone. He was barely in bounds. I mean, yeah, he was in bounds. Like, it was clearly he was in bounds, but he was so close. And then following him is Isaiah McKenzie with 4 receptions, 46 yards. Patrick DeMarco at 1 reception, 38 yards. He was wide open down the flat, and he's their fullback and stuff like that. And also Robert Foster had 1 reception, 27 yards, and Kelvin Benjamin had 2 receptions, 20 yards. Not much going on. He spread it out the ball pretty well. He threw to 9 different receivers. Charles Clay, former Dolphins, a while back, didn't do that well. He had 1 reception, 9 yards. Defensively, the Bills didn't do much. Matt Milano, their leading tackler, had 8 tackles, and Jordan Poyer had 5. Micah Hyde had 4. Tre'Davious White had 4. Levy Wallace had 4, and Tremaine Edmonds, one of the rookies, he had 4. It was gonna be a tight game throughout the whole game, and it proved to be that. Pretty much played until the last 40 seconds or so. 52, I believe, is when the Dolphins got the ball off that 4th down play that the Bills could not convert. I mean, they had, I think, Charles Clay wide open in the end zone, and Josh Allen just underthrew him just a little bit. I mean, also holding my breath. I wasn't even watching. I had to turn my head away from watching the game, that whole last Bills drive. Defensively, Micah Hyde for them had 1 interception, and it was coming off of an Xavier Howard interception. So Xavier Howard intercepted the ball, and then the next following play, Micah Hyde intercepted it. Now the Bills had a fumble, a couple of them actually. Josh Allen lost the fumble. I believe Chris Ivory recovered it, and then Isaiah McKenzie, he had a fumble, and Sonoris Perry recovered it. Now let's go over some Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill, also before getting to the Dolphins, Josh Allen had 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I'm not sure if I really gone over that, but Ryan Tannehill had 16 completions for 24 attempts. He threw for 137 yards. Not the greatest day, but enough to get us in the win column, honestly. He had 3 touchdowns and 1 interception, the one to Micah Hyde. He was sacked 3 times. I think every time he was sacked, it was on a third down, a down that Dolphins needed to get it. This O-line is really just not playing well at all. So now when we go to rushing, we have Kenyon Drake, who has 7 carries for 31 yards. He broke out like a 20-yard run. I think it was like in the it was in the fourth quarter. And put us in really good field position. Following him was Frank Gore. He had 8 carries for 21 yards. And Brandon Bolden had 1 carry for 10 yards. And Caleb Balaj had 4 carries for 3 yards. One of his longest ones was 8 yards. So had a negative play. I think it was on the Wildcat play. When it comes to like bad plays and you win, there's not much like that I care for personally. Obviously, there's some people that just criticize every single play. If you win and you have a negative play, whatever. But if you lose and you have a negative play, then they're pointing to that play, right? But luckily that the final result was the Dolphins winning, so that didn't happen for the Dolphins. But let's continue on. Leading receiver was Devontae Parker, of all people, right? He had 4 receptions, 43 yards, a touchdown. And then following him was Kenny Stills, 4 receptions, 37 yards, and a touchdown. Man, Kenny Stills' touchdown was pretty nice. He ran a route, he was coming over, and then he caught the ball over here in the end zone, over 2 defenders. It was not the best thrown ball, but it was enough to get the Dolphins the touchdown, and the defenders weren't in great position, so gotta give credit where credit is due. Kenny Stills, great catch, great game. Bryce Butler, being very sneaky. He had 4 receptions. I remember seeing like 2 of them. He had 4 receptions, 25 yards. And then Kenyon Drake, 2 receptions, 13 yards, and then it just falls off after that. There was a fumble that one of the Bills players were receiving the punt, and then he waved it off, calling for a fair catch, right? And then it hits him, it bounces off, and Senor Sperry is right there to recover it. Thank God, put Dolphins in great field position after a bad drive. I think it was like a 3 and out. Then also Kenny Stills fumbled, but he also recovered it right after. So let's go over some leading tacklers. We have Kiko Alonso with 11 tackles. I mean, this guy's almost averaging 11, 10, almost 9.5 or so tackles per game. I mean, this guy needs to get into the Pro Bowl, and I'm not going to rest until he does. Obviously, I wore my Kiko jersey today. Only throwback jersey I have, and I mean, Kiko is having a pretty good season so far. We have Raycole McMillan following him with 8 tackles, Rashad Jones 7, Minka Fitzpatrick 5, Bob McCain 4, Xavier Howard 4, TJ McDonald 4. After that, it falls off 2s and 1s. Then we have Xavier Howard, the guy. He had 2 interceptions. Just great hands defensively by Xavier Howard. One was like a little bit, I think it was before the half. The Bills were driving down the field, and Josh Allen just chucked one up, and Xavier Howard brought it down. And then later in the second half, he got another interception. Very great game for the Dolphins. Since we're playing the Bills again, week 17, there's some things to look at. One, we're playing in Buffalo week 17, right? Also, Josh Allen just escaped the pocket like if it was nobody's business. So Dolphins next time around need to work on that. Luckily, next week we're playing, I wouldn't say a statue, and I wouldn't say the least mobile quarterback, but we're playing Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks to live. Hate to say it as a Dolphins fan, but he is, and we need to stop him from just doing anything. They're gonna play the Vikings. I think they're already in the game with the Vikings at this moment. But hopefully Patriots lose, Dolphins slightly inch up in the division. If the Patriots lose and the Dolphins get a win next week, huge for the Dolphins, honestly. This one was very good for the Dolphins. They remain in the playoff hunt. Indianapolis just lost to Jacksonville. No, I didn't even see anything. I just saw a score. It was 6-0. at Jacksonville. Jacksonville ended up winning that game. Just really bad game for the Colts, I believe. I have no idea what the stats were, but that's huge for us. And the Ravens won, so they just keep on pushing away into the sixth spot. So down the line, hopefully the Ravens lose. Just a lot of stuff need to go Miami way. So when it comes to me, like, what I have to say about the team or the defensive side of the ball, offensive side of the ball, special teams. I mean, the whole game I was just like waved up and down of excitement and just being upset. When the Bills took the lead in the fourth quarter, I was just stunned by how that happened. But Dolphins prevailed, and they ended up winning this game when they needed to. They stepped up, had huge plays go their way. It's just what happens in football, guys. But overall, as when I come to grading the team, overall they had a decent game, just enough to get by this week. How does this make me feel heading into the Patriots game? I am honestly not sure. I obviously want them to do the best against the Patriots, against whoever they play, honestly. But when it comes to this, Miami just needs to be lights out when it comes to playing the Patriots. Can't afford any mistakes. There was a lot of offensive penalties, a lot of false starts, holdings, this and that. There was a drive that we had a play on first down. Could have been a first down. Got a penalty. Second down. Literally made a play that would have got a first down. Penalty. So you're sitting at 2nd and 20, and you're just wondering what the hell is going on with this team, because they have what it takes to make the plays. They just have so many penalties go against them. And this has been a story for the Dolphins since I've been really following them 4 years, 5 years. And I mean, come on. Dolphins need to really do better, right? But when you come away with a win, can't be anything else but happy. I mean, to be upset by winning is very, very strange. I mean, unless you're a team that's like dead last and they're just not doing well and you want to get a good pick, root for them to lose. But when it comes to the Dolphins, they're right now 6-6. They're heading to next week playing a game against the Patriots at home. So we got home field advantage. Miami's 5-1 at home. On the road, they don't travel very well. But when they're at home, they play very well. So the only exception is that Detroit game that was just Kerryon Johnson just ran over all over the Dolphins. But that's about it. I mean, there's not much to take away from this game. We didn't do very well offensively, and we didn't do very well defensively, but we did just enough to get the win. That's all I gotta say, and that's all. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a nice thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification option if you want to get notified every single time I upload, unless there's the case like now, how my video is still uploading, currently at 61%, and it is 5:37, so, but I will have videos coming out. Hopefully Wi-Fi just doesn't do this to me anymore. And also, I'm gonna have an article out. I knew I said it before on the game picks, but I'm gonna have an article out soon. Just been very caught up between school, work, and all this. So that's about it, guys. Dolphins got the win, improved to 500, stay in the playoff hunt. Let's go Dolphins. That's all.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team.